Hello everybody, my name is Gianna and welcome to my channel. This is officially my first video and today we're going to be talking about how to apply to college and what to consider when applying. So first off, we're going to be talking about how do I even start? Where do I even begin? Because I know college can be a very daunting task and it requires a lot of work. And so I would recommend the first thing you do is to get a jump on it as soon as you can. What I mean by that is you need to start as early as possible. So by doing some research, Google these colleges that you might want to apply to and just look at the college in itself, look at the size, look at the distance away from home, look at the career field you want to go into if you have that set up yet. Some people don't even know what career field or major they want to get into, which is totally fine. After you've done some basic research on what colleges you want to apply to, then I would start actually doing the application. When you're doing your application, some things I would recommend doing is before even starting the application, you're obviously going to be more towards the end of your junior year, beginning of your senior year. So this is a time where you're really going to be reflecting on what you've done leading up to applying to college. Applying to college is kind of like the last straw to high school. There's so many things that lead up to this point. And I'm going to kind of go through some of these things that I think all high school students should go through in order to make their resume or their application as unique and as competitive as possible when applying. So at the start of your freshman year, you need to start applying yourself. Start looking into a new club, start looking into sports, start looking into a unique hobby that you might have, because the more things you can add to your toolbox or add to your resume leading up to your application process will better help you in the long run when competing with thousands of other applicants when you come to apply your junior or senior year. So, what's important to recognize is not only is your academic achievements important, but also your well-rounded, well-balanced lifestyle. People in college not only need to be equipped with the abilities to study and also do well academically, but they also need to be able to have a well-rounded work-life balance. And what I mean by that is you need to be able to show colleges that you can handle both a vigorous course load academically and also excel in other aspects of your life, such as sports, clubs, volunteer work, maybe taking on a leadership position on a team or a club or activity. All of these things are awesome opportunities to be able to show colleges what you're capable of and to be able to compete at that high level. So depending on where you're applying, this is very crucial that the moment you step foot in high school till you apply, it is important to take crucial steps along the way to be able to represent yourself not only as a student but as an individual. When you're applying, you got to think of it as more of a story. You got to be able to tell your story within an application. And so it's important that you have all of these little checkboxes in your application to be able to show the college what you're capable of. And something that I feel like people take for granted when applying is your letters of recommendation. Your letters of recommendation are crucial when applying to competitive universities because it allows them to be able to view you from a different lens. And sometimes these letters of recommendation may be, a page or two. It really depends on who you ask and what they're going to write about, but it's so crucial to find the letters of recommendation individuals that you feel confident will write something good about you when they're looking at your application. And so that could be a coach, that could be a teacher, that could be a tutor, that could be any of those people that have been in your life that are able to write a confident letter about you, not only as a student, but as an individual. For instance, when I was applying to college, I was on the basketball team at my high school for 4 years, and so I asked my coach to write me a letter of recommendation to the colleges I was applying to because of how confident I was between our relationship, that she would be able to write me a pretty good letter of recommendation leading up to my application deadline. So that's something to consider as well. Another thing that I used to believe was all in or nothing was how much the sticker price was for the college. I know some of these more competitive or larger universities have a very big sticker price. They're very expensive, and I totally understand why some people can't afford college or they have a bunch of student loan debt, because college is very expensive. And so some people may not think it's right for them to apply to these colleges because of how expensive they are, but honestly, I would take that aside and just look at the college in itself and think, am I excited to go to this college? Would I be willing to spend money, time, effort, my next 4 years, the career development, the education, all of this stuff, the environment where you're going to be living, what friends you're going to make, all of that is considered in the college you attend. It's not just the sticker price. Now, that is a factor once you get accepted to these colleges, and you have to consider which financial sustainability you'll be able to handle the best, but that's not the make all or break all. Because there's so much financial support out there, there's scholarships, grants, part-time job opportunities, babysitting, all of this stuff that you can actually do right now that can help you take that financial burden and actually lower it. So the price tag when you get to college might not actually be that price. And so it's important to evaluate all of your options and to evaluate them fully and not just shut it down because, oh, well, it's too expensive. Because in the long run, honestly, on what profession you're going into, you might be able to pay those loans back in a couple years. I applied to 9 schools, and I had 3 different categories of where I was applying. I applied to safety schools, which I probably was going to get into. That was a safety net for if I fell through my other 2 categories, which was my interchangeable schools, which is, I think I'll get into these schools, but I'm not so excited about them that I would want to go there immediately if I got accepted. And then there's the creme of the creme, the best of the best colleges I would love to go to. I would attend there right now if I got accepted, and that's my desirable schools. So there's 3 categories: the desirable, or the colleges I don't know if I'm going to get into, like, it's very competitive, I don't know if I'm going to get in, but I would love to go there if I could, so I'm going to apply. Those are my desirable schools. Then there's the interchangeable schools where it's like, I don't know if I want to go there, but it's a great opportunity if I did go there, and it's, you know, it hits all these boxes, like it's not too far away, it's financially okay, it's, you know, it has a great environment, it's going to be great academically for me. Then those are the interchangeable colleges. And then there's the safety schools, which is a school that's not as competitive, but you believe you're going to get in, and it would also be a great opportunity if those 2 other categories didn't work out. And so after you've kind of aligned different schools in those categories, it's kind of easier to understand what the caliber of each school is going to feel like and the competitiveness of each school. So, for instance, when I applied to the University of Illinois, that was a very different application process than when I applied to other schools. When I applied to most of my other schools, I applied through the Common App, which allowed me to apply to more than one college at the same time, which saved so much time And it was honestly a great opportunity for me to be able to get my applications out there sooner and quicker. But for the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, they specifically wanted you to apply through the My Illini app. And so I had to apply separately through that app in order to apply directly to that college. And that was a tip I heard when I went there to visit a couple years ago, that you should apply in directly through their app and not the Common App, because they will have to end up transferring all of your Common App stuff to their app in order to see it all directly. And so I just did it for them, which I think let me have a leg up on the amount of work that the college would have to do for me within my application. And so if you're trying to get into competitive schools, I would definitely recommend applying early, or the early action application. This deadline is much sooner than the regular application process. However, I think it allows you to get your application out there sooner and done with, so that when it does come time where it does tell you your decision, whether you got rejected, waitlisted, or accepted, depending on what you get, that will allow you to apply to more colleges. If, say, you got rejected, that will allow you to get responses or apply to other colleges before the regular decision is due. Which I think it allows you just so much more time to apply and to just be more prepared if you were to apply early. It also allows you to show the colleges how dedicated and how much you want to pursue that college if you apply earlier rather than later. I will say, when it comes down to the wire and you're trying to apply for colleges, but you're kind of on the fence, you've maybe gotten accepted to 3 to 5 colleges that you would love to go to, but you don't really know what direction to go into, I would definitely recommend, if you can, going to the college for a campus visit. I know some people can't do that. I know there's some students that live internationally or just so far away that they would have to fly, and it would be a lot of financial costs in order to visit on campus. And if that is you, I would definitely recommend trying to apply for a virtual tour. I know a lot of campuses do that, so I would recommend doing a virtual tour, or maybe even contacting someone who is already at the university through social media platforms. They might be able to tell you a little bit about their university that you didn't previously know about. And so if you were to go in person on a campus visit, it allowed me, in my specific application process, to be able to view more clearly what this college is and what it'll look like for me if I were to live there and learn there for the next 4 years. It was able to make a more clear picture on what the college is, how big it is, depending on if you like smaller or bigger schools. I feel like that's a really big thing, is just kind of seeing what the environment looks like. It doesn't really say that online, how the environment feels, how big it actually is, what your social life will look like, where you'll live, what the dorms look like, what the food is going to look like, what the academic requirements or the academic education is going to look like. You don't really know that unless you visit in person. I feel like it just gives you so much more to your perspective on that college than just some simple stats that you looked up online. And so with that, I would definitely recommend just staying organized, applying early, getting those letters of recommendation out there early so that people who do receive those requests have enough time to be able to write your letters of recommendation without needing to write it early and fast and kind of unprepared in order to get the best results. And then honestly, just if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out anytime or to ask questions, because there's so many people, including myself, that didn't know where to start when applying to college. And so it's okay not to know what to do or where to start, because I feel like everybody who is near the end of their high school career doesn't know where to start, and that's okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, And please smash the subscribe button, like, and share for more inspirational content. And good luck in your application process. And just remember, you got this.